They crazy about it, ain't gon' play about it. Not a bribe, bro, I'm talking about a straight. You can play if you want to. I let them say what they want. I'm ready for all this. No matter how off you can get. That boy on the top of the list. I put up a wall and block all of it. Stay on my feet, I can't follow them. They killed my man, we was all of us. Tryna get to a point where we all can get rich. Go all the way, ain't no stopping it. They respect it, of course, but it's still a little tense. Still in the cut, I just darken it. Tense is a trophy on every last one of my wrists. Take care of every last one of my bitches. I go around, put my heart in it. Then you sold out. I look like when you get over. I never talk on the pillow. They get a bun, they get better. How much you charging the mail out? Soon as they land, we gon' sell out. Hold back them still keep the smell out. Snitch on the gang, you a sellout. I try to tell them to chill out. Be out of charge and get out. Keep that on when you step out. It's only going one way. 7 million in one day. Yeah. Run it up and invest in. Heart broke when they made them sick. Can't find time for relationships. Thank Clean Cartier bracelets. I'm a shooting star, you can make a wish. But you don't feel like I was made for this. If they don't, I will. I see life for what it is. Tryna spend a dub on a crib. Make some more time for my kids. Everybody solid one wish. Spending when it's time to get spent. Sending when it's time to get sent. Oh, baby made a way for herself. They want credit, they ain't did. She back outside, I'm in the field. If I catch you, you know what it is. That's right, she get the bitch. You ain't right, you in the middle. You get left up scratching the fence. I'm prepared for whatever they send. Yeah, I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. Yeah. I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. Know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. Know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. They think I'm crazy the way that I'm spending this money. I ain't going out like Mike Tyson. I'm in that mode, super cool on you, family. I like her, she gotta be feisty. Why every time that I turn around, one of these rapping ass be acting just like me. In the back of the Maybach, I'm sightseeing. My little still riding free shiesty. I went all the way down on the boat, I ain't stopping. I'm all the way up on the low, I can pop it. You can't get it on first when they drop it. My big and up pound just told me to step on me. Can't turn my back on nobody that's there for me. I ain't tripping on you, babe, don't trip on me. All this money don't make me the big homie. Put in work out the hood, I'm steroids. This for the time we had no lights and no order. Mama stressing herself to make ends meet. I done went on the 60-month rent street. Brody wanted for murder this. I be always on go, better get sleep. Love my family to death, but we better speak. I be all around the globe making sure we eat. Really know what I'm doing, I'm from the streets. I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. Yeah. I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. Know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. I know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. Know what I'm doing, they calling me crazy. Yeah.
Splurge, ride me jump right off the curb. Yeah. Bentley sprint fly like a bird. Spin on the first and the third. Yeah. Solid, I'm keeping my word. Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Yeah. Crank up the foreign, I swerve. Keep me a stick if they purge. Yeah. 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 Young gun on one that they working my nerves. I'm about to pour some serve. Yeah. Hitting this ball like a perm. Yeah. Back from the back up a perm. Yeah. Ice, the bird. Dropping on all you little turds. Can't take the pipe, but you turn. In my own lane, we can't merge. So with no heads, you can learn. Let's see how much you can earn. Why me go big like the worm? And I ain't smoking no shern. I'm in the VIP litty. QP ski. All of my baddies is pretty, they showing it really is up to the ceiling. Came home and ran through a milli. I rock with a really, let's hit for a billy. I'ma get down to the gritty and tell the city the home of the villains. Ecstasy, wonderful feeling. Smoke out the pound when I'm chillin'. Trappin', I made me a killer. Look, I got everybody wishing. I hope you play your position. I don't want nobody listening. I see them good with precision. Give us my only decision. Young gun no one that back calling me splurge. Ride me jump right off the curb. Bentley sprint fly like a bird. Spin on the first and the third. Solid, I'm keeping my word. Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Crank up the foreign, I swerve. Keep me a stick if they purge.
All right, let's get ready to do some housekeeping. Let's talk about the referees for the today's game. We got our referee, John Dennis, our umpire, Pete Krutzenberg, linesman, Mike Porter, line judge, Tom Sinelli, field judge, Ed Scott, side judge, Derek Price, back judge, Christopher Bell, electronic clock operator, Mr. Lou Partner. Paintner.
Yes. I love it. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I do that. The kids should know that too. I mess their names up too. I mess up everybody's name. Don't mean no harm.
I don't know how you do it though. To tell you the truth. That's hard. You gotta like rehearse. Yeah.
I can't mess up Miss Shanika Brown.
Yeah, don't mess up her name because I'm in this group.
No, I can't.
I know,
I
right?
can't mess up Miss Shanika Brown's name now. She's a legend around here, y'all. Y'all gotta understand.
Yeah, you've got an extra blanket.
Oh, yeah. Here's the drum line. You in the crowd, look to the right. You know what it is. Championship drum line leading the way.
Here we go.
The queens of the track stepping on the field. It's about to go down. You in the nest, everyone. You know what happens in the nest. Led by that championship band. Captains get ready to step on the field. Get up out your seats. Give it up for your Winslow Township Eagles! 2024 state champions! looking to go back to North Jersey to retain that crown. Today's contest is being conducted according to the rules of the New Jersey State High School Athletic Association. These rules provide for fair competition among players. Spectators can help promote good sportsmanship by observing the rules of fair play. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion shall not be tolerated. Clubs subject the violator to rejection and may result in penalties being assessed against your team. Each person is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this competition at a high level of good sportsmanship. Now we got the toss, the center field, captains, get ready to walk. Let's see if I can get the names here. We got Jason, Lajara. This is for Brick Memorial. We have Mike Pappas Jr. We have Star number 4, we have you up here. And we have Trey Tallridge. For the Winslow, we have Nakira Helton, Jalen Parker, Assard Hurd.
Welcome to Winslow Township High School. My name is Rafael R.J. Rivera.
And I am Alex Feliciano.
And welcome to Studio J106's production of Brick Memorial versus Winslow Township. Today, the 10-2 Winslow Township Eagles will be taking on the 10-2 Brick Memorial Mustangs in this highly touted matchup to go to the state championship.
Winslow looking back to go back-to-back. Let's see if they can finish the journey and make it back to the state championships here today.
As the national anthem will be taking place.
Let's play some football.
Great matchup here today as Brick is 10-2, coming off a 28-0 win last week.
And then Winslow coming off a win against
Millville.
in a rematch as we saw both sides of the field getting some targets with the defense and the offense. Winslow's defense last week looked very good against that game against Millville.
So Brick Memorial, obviously the heavy underdog in this game against the Eagles. If Brick wants to win, they're going to have to use their dual threat quarterback to win this game. Lahara, number 10, plays like a little bit like Johnny Manziel, can kill you both ways, on his feet, through the air, doesn't matter. So we'll see how Winslow can contain this Brick explosive offense.
Hey, but speaking of the explosive offense, you're going to see Winslow's explosive offense with their dual threat quarterback in Winslow. And Jalen Parker, who Jalen Parker is going for the state record here today. He is 3 touchdowns away from tying the record with 105, and he's at 102 right now. So we could very much see Jalen Parker break the record here today.
As the kick is up and returned to about the 45-yard line there. So Winslow will be getting the ball first here. And as Alex just said, Jalen Parker looking for a little bit of history today, as you can see on the screen. Now, Winslow is going to have to, continue that offensive success last week that they saw against Millville. Aired it out, put it on the ground, very balanced.
And speaking against that game and breaking records, Nakir Helton, who you're going to see on the screen, Nakir Helton broke the school's record for Winslow Township with getting the most touchdowns in school history with 16.
As Powell is in the backfield and handed off to Powell. Powell picks up about 4 yards on the carry. Nakeem Powell, the Eagles' #1 rushing threat. 124 yards last week on the ground.
And Nakeem Powell had a monster game against Shawnee 2 weeks ago with a hat trick on the ground and 121 yards rushing. Let's see if he can copy that off this game against this Brick Memorial defense. So this is the matchup you're going to look for here in Nakir Helton.
Ball handed off again. And it looks like Powell will fall forward. About a 3-yard carry again. So Winslow started off with 2 straight runs here.
And we don't see this often from Winslow's offense. We also see him throw the ball, but first 2 drives not throwing the ball once, or first 2 plays not throwing the ball once. Let's see if this is going to be a continuing theme in the game or if they're going to try to air the ball out a little bit more.
It's a little bit of different look here for Winslow.
A little bit of confusion going on here at the line.
Ball snapped to Parker. Handed off again to Powell. Powell fights forward, and he will pick up the first. So 3 straight runs on this first possession for Winslow. And if Brick wants to win this game, they're going to have to contain Winslow's, explosive offense, especially the run. Because if Winslow sees you, you can't defend the run, they won't even bother to pass the ball.
And that's what it comes with being a dual threat team, You have both sides. If you see one thing clicking and the other thing not, you can just switch it up. Or you can keep it the same. Let's see what this Winslow offense is going to do. Let's see if they keep it on the ground again. So Nakeem Powell is the guy to look for here to see if they continue this running offense.
Yeah, Brick's going to have to make Winslow pass if they have a chance in this game.
So 3 receivers here on the right side.
And it looks like a jump on Winslow's side. So very fortunate there for Brick, as that will put them back 5 yards. Winslow going to have to limit the penalties today. Obviously, last week, penalties were limited, so Winslow's going to have to continue that. But if lots of penalties are committed by the offense, it's going to be a long day.
That's the main story kind of with the Winslow offense, and handing it off to Nakeem Powell. Nakeem Powell.
Snap to Powell again. It looks like Brick does a good job containing the rush there. Gain about 2 on the play.
Up to the 47, actually picks up 3.
So it's going to be 2nd and 12 as a gain of 3 there.
And Brick, a very big team, as you can see on the field. Lineman right there, number 70. Nose tackle.
And they are a very good team. They're in this spot for a reason. And we don't want Winslow to let their guard down thinking this is going to be an easy matchup. This is a very good team in Brick Memorial that we're seeing here.
So one-on-one matchup with Helton and Nazir Matthews.
So this is what you're going to be looking for. Nakir Helton here by himself. It looks like it's going to be a timeout here.
Now it looks like a delay of game there.
A delay of game, sorry.
So 2 penalties there by Winslow on the first drive. Not the best, and that's the thing to win for Brick. You're going to have to force Winslow to make mistakes, penalties. You know, got to be a little fortunate. Winslow obviously has the better athletes, but, you know, Brick can fight.
And with Winslow, that's a recurring theme because hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. And if you're going to have these costly penalties in this game to back you up early in this game, it's going to be a problem for Winslow.
Ball snapped. Parker will drop back. He'll fire deep to Helton. And it is dropped by Helton, but flag late on the play. Helton looked wide open, just a little overthrown by Parker.
There's going to be a flag deep in the zone, so let's see where it's going to be on, if it's going to be on that Winslow offense or if it's going to be on the Brick Memorial defense. But again, 3 penalties, not even in 5 minutes in the first quarter, and 3 penalties already.
So it will look like it will be on Brick there.
But Winslow usually gets on the board early on in the game, and that's what we've seen from this Winslow team. By getting on the board and just expanding throughout the game and just shutting down the other team. But Brick is doing a pretty good job in not letting them get those extreme plays.
As the ball snapped to Parker, he fires to Quade Hendricks, little quick route. Just dropped right before the first down marker. Quade Hendricks, obviously a big story on this team, big player on this team. Committed to UConn right now to play football next year, so congratulations to him as he will be coming off the field. As he's right there, Benjamin Carter on the field, the defensive end, getting some snaps at tight end. So 3rd and 1 here. Curious to see what Winslow does in this short yardage opportunity.
So what I would be looking at here is the matchup you're seeing with Nakeem Powell. Nakeem Powell gets the ball again. Short game.
He falls forward for the first down. So first down, Winslow. After the 2 straight penalties, Winslow hunkers down, gets the first down, and keeps the chain moving.
Now, see, I don't want to discredit Winslow, but it's a little bit more of a slower start than we've seen from Winslow in the past few games. You know, having 2 electric, fumbles on special teams, early touchdowns in the game. We usually see Winslow up by at least a touchdown by now, but Brick is doing a pretty good job at forcing these penalties and putting Winslow in these uncomfortable positions on offense.
So the ball will be snapped. Screen pass, and looks like just miscommunication there. We'll see what the penalty is for. And it will be on the offense, so another penalty by Winslow.
Going to be an intentional grounding here by Winslow, but it was before the snap, it looked like.
Yeah, it just looked like some confusion there on that play. And Brick's, no slouch on defense. Last week, pitching a shutout, 28-0. And, they're the underdogs. They're probably coming in this game riled up. So Winslow just has to hunker down, stick to their game plan, because, they're not to be taken lightly.
But again, exactly what you just said, not to be taken lightly, and we're going to see, I think, a good football game here on both sides.
Ball is snapped. Powell finds some space.
Runs into his own man there.
Good pickup there for Nakeem Powell.
So ran into Quade Hendricks there.
You can see Powell's burst of speed there as soon as he got the ball.
And that's something you want to try to contain. You want to try to contain that Nakeem Powell run because he is a very dangerous player on the ground. But you also want to be able to be aware of the receivers for Winslow, and especially that dual threat quarterback in Jalen Parker.
So it looks like Jason Nelson will check into the game here for the Eagles. Helton in motion. Ball snapped. Parker drops back. Has Helton wide open. He gets the ball. Extra yardage. Will fall forward for the first down. So Helton left unmarked. And the dangerous receiver picks up the first down. So methodical drive here for Winslow. You know, chewing some clock.
Before this game, I talked to the quarterback for Winslow, Jalen Parker, and he was telling me about how he was going for this record, what drives him to get this record. And he said the record is secondary right now. He wants to go back to the state championship. And if that's not something you want, that's something you want to see from your quarterback, who's not worried about the stats. He's worried about winning another championship for this school, and he's on pace to do it right now and breaking that record.
So the ball is snapped to Nelson. Nelson fall forward for about 2. Good job containing the rush there by Brick's defensive line.
So again, 0-0, a Winslow Township's ball in the red zone right now, in dangerous territory for this Brick Memorial defense. You don't want to give up a touchdown to this team, this Winslow team, for them to go up early on in this game. So now the receivers is going to be Quade Hendricks, Nakir Helton, and TJ Maddox.
Ball is snapped. Parker steps up in the pocket, fires, and he has Helton for the touchdown. Nakir Helton adds on to his historic season, getting his 17th of the year, and Winslow goes up 6-0.
So let's take a look at this replay if we can get it here. What a good just scheme, messing with the defense a little bit here. Just took a little bit out and confused the defense just a little too much, and you see Nakir go on the outside, no one there. Open by at least 5 feet, it looked like. So, looks like we're not going to be able to get that replay here, but either way, if you were watching, that was an insane play there by this Winslow offense, and it looks like there's going to be a whistle before the kick.
So yeah, Helton there made some moves, got free, scored his touchdown, adds to his historic season, and Winslow caps off a very long drive to their standards with a touchdown. So that is the key, just taking time off the clock.
Okay, and if we're going to talk about historic seasons, that's now another passing touchdown for Jalen Parker, which makes him 2 away from the state record at 105. That makes him to 103. He is now 2 touchdowns away from tying the record. But if we want to talk about records,
Kick is up, and it is good. So Winslow takes a 7-0 lead.
But if we want to talk about records, Nakir Helton going for the school's receiving yards leader in his career, either this game or the next game. But let's see if he could do it here today. A historic game a few games ago from Jason Lahara with a 7 touchdown game. So if we're talking about insane records, we also have to bring that to light, because this isn't an easy game we're going to see. We're going to see Brick Memorial's offense taking the field right now after this kickoff. So there's going to be a personal foul against the Mustangs here in this game. So let's see what the Mustangs are going to do now, backing up yardage here. Not going to be in a good position at all here, but if anybody can answer back from being down, it could be this Mustangs team. And arguably, probably in the playoffs, a tougher opponent for the Winslow Eagles.
And they will let it fall to the back of the end zone. Probably the smartest thing to do. So this Mustangs offense comes onto the field, very explosive, very dangerous offense. You have obviously the quarterback, Jason Lahara, very dual threat quarterback, can kill you in many ways. Design runs, he's really good at that, and shifty. You're gonna look out for number 1, the running back, Nazir Whitaker. He can basically do it all. He's a receiving back. He's very fast, very shifty. So we will see what the Mustangs draw up here for Winslow. Lead receiver for the team is Nazir Matthew. Number 4 there in the slot. As it looks like Matthews jumps offside.
So a little bit of confusion there from this Mustangs team early on. But again, as you see, he is the receiving yard leader. So let's see what he can do for this Mustangs team. As you see, Winslow star receiver scoring early on for a touchdown.
Yeah, if you're Brick, you just want to establish your run as much as possible here. As that is a catch by Matthews. Matthews falls forward, so good pickup there by Nazir Matthews, top target on the team, 12 receiving touchdowns for him on the season.
He's going to be short of the first down.
And we'll also look out for number 5 there, Sean Fowler, deep threat receiver. As the ball is handed off to Matthews. Matthews makes a cut inside. And we'll pick up about 5 there.
But a flag on the play, so it's going to be on the Winslow defense. So a little bit more there. So that's something you want to see from this Brick Memorial team, the Mustangs. Going to get a flag on their side. So this Winslow team in general have been taking a lot of flags really early on in this game. That's not something Bill's going to be happy about going into halftime. It's such a costly game. It's such an important game here.
And if Brick wants to win this game, Lahara is going to have to make plays. He's going to have to make plays with his feet, through the air, pretty much do everything here. And another key to win this game is to limit turnovers. Winslow, obviously, 2 defensive touchdowns last week, 2 pick sixes. So you're going to want to have to limit those turnovers in this game.
So now,
as the ball is snapped and passed to the outside. Good pickup there.
But a stop by the commit, Julian Peterson.
So Nasir Whitaker back in the game here. 3 receiver set there for the Mustangs. As he shifts out, as the ball is snapped, Lahara pocket collapses, slips. And that will go down in the book as a sack by Robert Karstarfin.
So, on the game, it's supposed to rain in this game. Is that going to be something that plays an effect on the field? And we're seeing that early on, that could be a common theme in this game, is slipping.
Timeout charged to Winslow. So it looked like the Mustangs would go 5 wide there. Going to see what they do now. But, you know, obviously the conditions will play a part in this game, but that is no excuse. You know, these teams want to go to the state championship, and I doubt they're worried about a little bit of rain. So we will see.
And in this game, you know, you have to look at it from the Mustangs' point of view, coming here, going home against one of the top teams, the top public team in New Jersey, against this Winslow team, who is a powerhouse. 2 losses on the year, Bergen Catholic and IMG. Not easy teams at all, but Winslow is a very good team in themselves, and they have to travel to Winslow and play a very good team. Not even at home, away. So let's see if that's going to play an effect for this Brick Memorial team.
So Brick will go 5 wide. Look here. Passes to the outside to Nazir Whitaker. Not enough at all for the first down. So we'll see what Brick does on this crucial 4th down.
See, if
and it
I
looks
was
like
Brick Memorial, I would try to go for it here.
Yeah, it looks like they will be aggressive and go for it. So 4th down here. Brick obviously being aggressive, you know, knowing Winslow can put points on the board at will.
But if it doesn't answer, and it doesn't call right.
And it looks like Brick gets what they wanted. Benjamin Carter jumps offside. So putting the team on the field for 4th down proves to work. So it makes it 4th and manageable, 4th and 2. Brick obviously going to try to run a play here. And I would look out for Nazir Whitaker here.
But makes it a more manageable 4th down.
So Whitaker obviously in the backfield next to Lahara. Now they're going to
You also have a one-on-one matchup.
have
here.
some motion.
On the bottom half of your screen, you have a one-on-one option that I would personally look at, but you're going up against a very good corner here.
Ball's going to be not handed off to Whitaker. Lahara uses his legs and takes it up for a 1st down. Obviously, pregame notes where, you know, Jason Lahara can do it all. You know, move on the run, and obviously there, quarterback keeper picks up the 1st down.
What a smart play. It's exactly what I would have done if I was this Brick Memorial team. Again, going up against the powerhouse, you don't want to give the chance early in the game for Winslow to go up by 2 scores. Go for it on 1st, try to get them to, on 4th, try to get them to jump off sides, and it worked. And now it makes it 4th and 2 for a QB run, a designated run, and it pays off. So now we're going to see what this Brick Memorial offense can do, but we're going into the 2nd quarter.
It's a very interesting 1st quarter there. Brick keeps it close. Obviously, time of possession is going to be very important in one of these games. That's usually how it goes. So Brick Memorial only Winslow to 7.
Coach Weston. All right, so we're back, 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 Mustangs from 42 of Winslow.
So it will be a 1st and 10 here for Brick after the play. Score is 7-0 here, and they will go 5 wide again. Lahara back at quarterback. Ball snapped. Lahara. Big pressure off the edge. Sack there.
By Kamaj Matthews. And Kamaj Matthews, I also talked to him yesterday, and he said that in this game, you know, coming to Winslow, different locker room feel. It didn't play the first few games, but now with this Winslow team, has been a huge part of this defense, and we just seen why in a big game for a sack.
Motion here as Lahara will drop back. Defenders in his face, and that is a sack by Rob Karstarfin. Looks like he could get away there, but Karstarfin too fast.
So 2 sacks back-to-back from this Winslow team, and you do not want to get this Winslow defense going. You do not want to do that, especially if they get sacks on the quarterback. That is not going to be good for this Brick Memorial offense.
So it'll be 3rd and forever here, 3rd and 26. Ball is snapped. Lahara, more pressure, and Lahara will use his legs, pump, fires upfield, and that'll be incomplete. So the Winslow Sacks do a good job to push Brick back.
Now, I can't imagine they go for it here. I personally can't, you know, having 2 costly sacks in this game. Puts them maybe closer to field goal range if they don't take those sacks, possibly to get, you know, to that 30-yard line. But just unfortunate with those 2 sacks to take him out of contention there. But what a shot we saw from the Brick Memorial defense or offense, not being scared and a little bit of a bounce there.
It looked like the punt will go out about the 35-yard line. So Winslow will set up shop there for their second drive. Obviously, the first drive, very methodical, very long, and it, you know, ended in a touchdown. So they're going to want to try to replicate that here.
And now this Winslow offense coming back after a touchdown by Nakir Helton to put them up by 7. Let's see if this Winslow team can go up by 2 possessions here. So you're going to see Nakeem Powell manning the offense here. It's a run-heavy game from this Winslow offense.
As the ball is snapped, Parker assesses his options, finds Maddox. He will move forward, still going. Out at about the 45-yard line. It's a good run after catch there by TJ Maddox.
That is TJ Maddox, the class of 2028, the sophomore, who's been also taking a higher step up in this offense for Winslow.
So big gain there by Winslow on first down.
But you're seeing a little bit more of an adaptive.
They do the same thing again. Helton makes a catch, gets the first down.
So you're seeing a little bit more of an adaptive defense type by this Brick Memorial team. But just going off and just changing it up here. They're layering their defense a little bit more just in case of that run for Nakeem Powell.
As Parker will drop back and just pitch it to Powell. Powell, open space. Picks up about 5 on that play. This will be a 2nd and 5 here for your Eagles.
Now 3 wide by Winslow, thing they love doing. So you see Quade Hendricks on the left side, TJ Maddox, and Nakir on the right.
So the ball is snapped. Parker just going to find Powell again, spray it outside, and he picks up the first down.
So that's enough to move the chains. So now Winslow back in the red zone, somewhere they have been pretty good at all year. See if they can answer here.
Parker finds Maddox over the middle. Maddox gets in for the touchdown.
And the sophomore putting a touchdown on the board, and that now makes Jalen Parker 1 away from tying the record. 1 touchdown away from tying the record here.
So there, you know, Maddox was just there on a slant route, makes the catch, runs after the catch into the end zone for the touchdown. It's been a big emphasis on the rack today. You know, getting those yards after the catch.
But what a play when you think, hey, we got to worry about Nakeem, when we think we have to worry about Nakir, when we have to worry about Jalen, when we have to worry about Quade. Then there's the sophomore and TJ Maddox, who has 2 more. 2 touchdowns. So 2 more years with this Winslow team.
And the kick is up and good. So Winslow takes the early 2-possession lead here after 2 successful drives.
But here we're going to see some plays from the quarterback, Jalen Parker. Game against IMG with a front flip. First down. So Jalen Parker, again, going for a record that hasn't been done in a few years by this state. In this state, no one has gotten more than 105 touchdowns on the year or in their career. And Parker still has another year left to football in high school, and he's about to break the record for high school touchdowns. So that's something we're seeing from a junior.
Jonah.
So now having the punted away to the Winslow team, Brick Memorial's offense taking back over the field.
And it looks like Whitaker will take it out, get up to about the 23 or 24 yard line. So this Brick Memorial offense is coming back onto the field. You know, we saw flashes their first drive, but obviously, you know, the pass protection wasn't the best as Winslow got back there quite a few times. So, sorry, if they shore that up, they might have something going.
And that's what I don't want people to forget. They're not in this spot. They're not sitting at a 10-2 record for no reason. They're sitting at a record because they are a very good school going up against a very good school. Now let's just see who wants it more. But now let's look at Jalen Parker's here. 8 completions, 9 attempts,
as
96
that
yards.
is passed outside and completed for first down.
And 2 passing touchdowns on the game.
So completion there by Brick, and that's will move the chains.
But
So-
now, giving this Winslow defense a little bit of time to breathe coming back on the field here.
So as you see that matchup right there, Whitaker, that one-on-one as there's another receiver comes out, but I'm looking at that 1v1 there with Sean Fowler. As the ball is handed off to Whitaker, Whitaker makes some moves and crosses the 50 for a first down. So obviously Nazir Whitaker, very dangerous on the rush.
But now Rob Kostarfin with 2 tackles and 2 sacks on the game. Now Winslow's defense again doing amazing. You see Kamaj getting involved.
And they will opt for Whitaker again on a first down. Gets about 2 there.
Helmet came off on the field.
About 3. Second and 7.
So it looks like he's going to come off the field now to get that adjusted. But now this Brick Memorial team, the Mustangs, again, still going up against this amazing Winslow defense. Second and 7 here. Let's see if they can capitalize. See if they want to try to tire out this Winslow defense. But what we've seen all year is this looks like this Winslow defense cannot get tired.
As the ball is snapped, Lahara, just a little pitch to Eric Pedre, and the ball comes out. Looks like Winslow jumps on it.
In a fumble by Brick Memorial's offense.
Out. Looks like Winslow jumps on it.
In a fumble by Brick Memorial. But what a play by this Winslow defense.
And yeah, if you're Brick, you do not, absolutely do not want to see that. You know, the keys to winning this game for Brick, are, winning the turnover battle. And, they were looking poised for a good drive there. That was going to be a pretty solid pickup, but the ball just slips out, and Winslow back onto the field.
In the Winslow offense, coming back on the field, can Winslow go up by 21 this drive? It is possible with this team.
As the ball is snapped, Parker looking deep, overthrows Nike or Helton, but you can just see Parker's arm there.
What an arm that we just saw by Jalen Parker. Jalen Parker, if you haven't seen go watch the Winslow Athletic page on Instagram. Talks about where he gets the arm from, and he gave a shout out to his mom yesterday, saying his mom's the reason why he has that arm. And we just seen that arm up close, even though it was incomplete and it was overthrown. We could see that he is a very dangerous quarterback and why he is going for that record here. But now it's going to be 1st and 20, it looks like. So a timeout by Brick Memorial Mustangs. Just to go over, if you're just joining us with us here, it is Winslow versus Brick Memorial to see who goes on to play in the state championships. And it's going to be Winslow up by 14-0 with Winslow's ball pretty early on in the second quarter. But we still have a good amount of football left to play in this game. Let's see if Brick Memorial can turn it around before it gets blown out of proportion. So about 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
All right, so at that timeout, still 1st and 20 from the 31.
But we have been seeing a very good defense by both sides of the field, to be quite frank.
As the ball is handed to Powell. Powell will fall forward for about 4.
But I want to give credit to this Brick Memorial run defense. Something Winslow does very good is running the ball, and they've been shutting it down very often in the game. But again, to talk about it again, Winslow is when you figure something is not working out, you just go right to the other thing, and that's the passing game, and it plays out perfectly to their advantage.
Yeah, so this is a very crucial defensive possession for Brick. Obviously, you don't want to go down 3 scores, so they're probably doing their best to hunker down here, try to get Winslow's offense off the field. Obviously, with Winslow, they're gonna go for all 4 downs.
So now this is an important drive here.
As the ball is snapped, handed to Powell. Brick again. Run defense doing a good job there to contain Powell.
This is a very important drive here, especially a very crucial 3rd down, at least for what I consider to be a very good game so far yet, is if Winslow gets this 4th down, or 3rd down, even if they don't get the 3rd down, they go on 4th, and they get that, and they can get it 1st down here. What does that do for the confidence of this Brick Memorial team, right? You're looking at a very good Winslow team who just is beating you at almost everything in the field. Brick Memorial needs to get their head in the game, realize on what's at stake, and try to beat this Winslow team and try to shut them down while they still can. So let's see. Either Winslow's going to move on with his offense or Brick Memorial could do something with this defense.
And it looks like a timeout charged to Bill Belton and the Eagles.
All right, it's the 2nd timeout by the Eagles.
So, 2nd timeout by Winslow. Look at Jalen Parker's stats on the game. 8 completions, 10 attempts, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 1 away from tying the record, state record. And this could be the drive to tie it. So let's look at that right there. He is sitting at 104. 104 touchdowns on the year, 104. He could tie it this drive if they can get the 1st. And he could break it throughout this game. But now, Winslow's offense getting back on the field. You're really doing a good job with this offense by not turning over the ball and letting your defense rest so they could do a good job on the ball and get you back the ball sooner than expected.
So we have Powell in the backfield here. As the ball is snapped, Parker, he's going to drop back. Pressure coming off the edge. Jalen Parker gets out of that like a magician, and he will run all the way to the 40-yard line. There is a flag on the play.
That might be coming back, but turned literally nothing into something. I thought that was for sure a sack.
And it looks like it will be a hold on the offense. So a, magician-type play there by Jalen Parker is overturned and sent back. But,
you could see that he can do it. You could see that he has the ability where he can get out of a almost definite sack and turns it into about a 23-yard, 24-yard gain there.
Yeah, like a magician there. Looks like the pocket just collapsed on him, but, you know, using his stature and his speed, you know, to get out of there, squeak through a little hole, and find his way through. So it'll be 3rd and forever here for Winslow. We'll see if we're going to do maybe opt for a pass over the middle.
Well, I'm looking at this matchup with Quade Hendricks here. This is the matchup I'm looking at here.
As they will just run it with Powell. Powell makes a burst through, but nowhere near enough for the first down. So Brick does their job and limits Winslow, putting them in a 4th down situation, and their punt team will come on the field. Good defensive stand there by the Mustangs, and they will get the ball back.
That's what they needed. They needed to bring some life to this defense and this offense. They need to break down this team bit by bit to even have a chance of winning this game. So let's see what they can do here by punting it away.
And, you know, Brick can really swing the momentum here. If they get the ball, have a long, methodical drive, you know, maybe waste a lot of clock, give Winslow the ball back with virtually no time to score. They do get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, so they could, you know, make this a very, very interesting game, depending on how this drive goes. So timeout charge to Brick, as it will be 4th and 15 here.
But a timeout it looks like here. Let's see what they do. Mind you, Winslow has only 1 timeout left, and so does Brick Memorial. Late in this 2nd quarter. But let's see if Brick Memorial can get the ball, score, and then get the ball back by halftime and maybe tie it up. Let's see, Winslow's now going to punt it away here, bringing this Brick Memorial offense back on the field.
As it will be caught, and oh my goodness! Winslow defender came off the edge hard, but Nazir Matthews eats the tackle, stays up, but eventually gets tackled. But very good job to not, you know, lose the ball there.
Definitely knocked the wind out of it, and that's something Winslow does very well is the special teams, right? You see him fumble a lot on plays like that, and he gets ready for the hit and makes it look like, you know, it was an unstoppable force versus an immovable object, and we just saw that the immovable object has won that matchup. So here's the matchup I would be looking for if I was Brick Memorial. You have all this side of the open field to your right side. If I was Jason, you're going to be looking at this matchup with one of your top receivers on the field. So now motioning him.
Ball is snapped. Lahara, pressure in his face. He'll find his receiver incomplete.
What a try there by Jason. And now you see that he's comfortable running out of the pocket and getting the ball to the receiver. So now a heavyweight matchup we are watching. You see Brick Memorial going 3 wide.
So the ball is snapped. Little screen pass there, but it is blown up, but good fight after the catch to extend for Brick.
So Winslow read that like a book, which is not enough. So 1 timeout remaining on both teams to see if Brick is going to try to get it down the field and maybe go for a timeout here.
As 5 wide here. And timeout.
You're right. Mustangs just called that last timeout they had.
So 3rd and 5 here for Brick. Coming up. As you can see, Rob Karstarfin disrupting, causing issues. 2 sacks on the day so far. So, you know, if someone's going to take you down, it's either Karstarfin, Carter, or someone else, you know, on that tout defensive line.
Very dangerous, again, defensive line you see by this Winslow Eagles. When you think there's nobody to worry about, there's always somebody to worry about.
Yeah, so one-on-one, Karan Caesar versus Nazir Matthews on that left side.
And that's the matchup I think we're all looking at here. You know, this could be a very costly 3rd and 5 that maybe could put
Ball
them up.
is snapped quick off the edge. Pitch there that, you know, happened last time on 3rd down, and nothing going there for Brick.
Winslow read that like a book.
And Brick staying, you know what, never mind. Looks like they will punt.
Now, is that something you want to see from this Brick Memorial team? No, you don't want to see that, quite frankly. You want to try to go for it, especially against a very aggressive team in Winslow.
As the ball will be snapped, punted, and kicked out to about the 49.
But what good field position for Winslow. Still has a good amount of time with 1 timeout left on the clock, and it looks like Winslow's going to come back on the field, and it looks like there was a bit of confusion there.
So yeah, definitely a blown opportunity there by Brick. You know, as I said earlier, you know, a chance to, you know, a methodical drive puts you in a very good position going into the 2nd half, but, you know, couldn't get anything going there. So Winslow's offense will come back onto the field in a 5-wide look.
Winslow's such a very dangerous team.
Parker fires over the middle, and that is intercepted by Brick. Interception by Colin Shupkoff. And Brick with a burst of energy there. And they will come back onto the field. Parker fired and was intercepted.
Visibly frustrated, I mean, you know, having the chance before half to tie up the record, you just do something. You don't want to force the ball when you don't need to. That's kind of that's kind of not karma, but that's something you see from this Winslow team. And you don't need to be aggressive. You are aggressive, and it paid off. It bit you in the foot, and now you have to pay with a costly interception to give Brick back the ball.
As the ball is snapped and handed off to Matthews, but as Kamaj, Matthews with the tackle.
So a little bit of a Matthews on Matthews action there, and Matthews just got the better of that against Matthews. But good try by the defense. Nearing the end of the 2nd quarter. You hear a band.
Ball is snapped. Lahara fires just out of Fowler's reach.
Nearly almost got an interception back from this Winslow team.
So a quick 3rd down here for Brick. And if I'm Brick, this is 2-down territory for me. You know, maybe not actually, but
I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that, actually. I would think it's 2-down territory. You know, you're getting the ball back beginning of the next half. You go for it here. Even if you don't get it, strive for it.
So it will be a 3rd and about 12 here. Ball is snapped. Another pitch play. You know, we've done that on 3 straight 3rd downs. Nothing much there. 4th and long here. And we will see what Brick will do.
So it's about 4th and 10. I would go for it here. I mean, it's risky, yeah, but this is about the same field position you're seeing that Winslow keeps getting, punting or not. So, yeah, you could back them up a little bit more. But you're getting the ball back to begin the 2nd quarter, and you just saw a costly interception by Jalen Parker. So let's see what they're going to come up, if their offense is going to come back on the field or if their punting team is going to come on the field. Don't know yet. So it looks like their offense is staying on the field, which is what I would do here. This is what I would do. It's risky, but wait,
So it will be a punt here on 4th and 10. So if you're Brick, obviously, you know, if you get an interception, you want to capitalize off Winslow's mistakes. You know, they come few and far between. So, you know, very disappointing there for Brick, you know, not capitalizing on that interception. But Winslow will, you know, get it in long field range. You know, they have to, long time to go, only one timeout. So we will see if they can muster up another touchdown, which would, you know, make this game very different.
But also, you just seen the last drive, costly interception to give Brick a chance to score a touchdown, to get close here, to not tie, but make it a one-score game. But now this Winslow offense taking back over the field.
As the ball will be pitched off to Powell. Powell burst of speed, picks up about 1 or 2. So time still dwindling here for your Eagles. 1 minute on the clock. 5 wide look. So it looks like they will put it in the air unless Parker takes quarterback keeper. And he will keep. Parker using his legs and picks up the first down. You know, that's the beauty of Jalen Parker. You know, can obviously air it out about 60 yards, but when you need it, he will put his feet in the dirt and rush. So no timeout called here by Winslow.
That's the dual threat quarterback we see from Winslow. Trying to march down the field to get a touchdown here.
As Parker drops back, a fade to defender, hits Powell. Nothing much there on that first down, so time will tick and it will dwindle. No, it looks like Winslow will try to run another play here. Not calling any timeouts. Probably just going to air this one out deep, to be honest.
Might be a Hail Mary here.
So Parker will step up in the pocket, and it looks like he will just run, try to get the most out of this play. So that will be the end of the first half. 14-0 Winslow. Very different game from what we've seen, you know, these playoffs.
A costly interception by Jalen Parker.
I'll never forget telling my grandmother, one day I would love to start my own company. You know, she said that they'll never let a black man start his own company. That was a tough pill to swallow, but the spark stayed alive in me. My name is Cody Coleman. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Coactive AI. I grew up in New Jersey, but my mom was actually in prison when I was born, so I was put into foster care and then adopted by my maternal grandparents. We just grew up on their Social Security and welfare, and basically we're in poverty all of my life. My older brother Sean came back into my life when I was about 13 years old, and that's when my spark for computer science really got lit. You know, he helped me build my first computer, and that opened my eyes, and it showed me that, you know, with a computer and an internet connection, you could create something that would impact the lives of thousands, millions, and now billions of people around the world. I think there's two characteristics that have stayed with me throughout my entire life. I'm naively optimistic and endlessly positive. And those two characteristics have kind of taken me through thick and thin, through all, you know, the dark times to where I am today. In 1996, Bill Gates said that content is king. He predicted that the real money on the internet was going to be made in content. Those predictions have come true, and the king is here. 80% of internet traffic is video data. So if it was a tidal wave before, you know, it's a tsunami now. All of this content is sitting underutilized in cloud storage, just basically for serving or archived in backups. You know, our goal is to make it easy to search, filter, and analyze visual content, and transforming visual content from something that was a tax on organizations into something that would effectively leverage their content to deliver information and entertainment. In starting a company and starting Coactive AI, you're taking a leap of faith. You're doing something crazy, something insane, and if you don't have the right people around the table, the right partners supporting you, it's impossible. The end of my PhD was a surreal moment. In the span of 3 months, we raised the seed round for Coactive. I turned 30, and I defended my PhD. It felt like reality had broken. There was this moment where I was kind of overtaken by all the emotion and this thing that I wanted to do for so long and dreamed about, you know, starting my own company. I broke down in tears and I ugly cried in this meeting, and it's a moment that I'll never forget. Growing a successful startup starts with building on a solid foundation, and that's what AWS gives us. I think the best analogy for big data is water. And you can kind of think of that in terms of the surface area for, you know, something like Lake Tahoe. You can get across that with a canoe or a rowboat. But now we're talking about something that's the surface area of the Pacific Ocean. You're going to need a bigger boat in order to be able to cross that and to be able to find treasure. AWS gives us all of the raw materials and all the building blocks that we need in order to create that bigger boat that enables us to actually process this ocean of unstructured data in an efficient and scalable way so that we can actually go and explore without, you know, breaking the bank. I would tell my younger self that hard work pays off and that there's an amazing world right around the corner in order to take that weight off of my shoulders and give me hope for what's to come. Partnering with AWS is the only way to build fast in a secure and scalable way to tackle the most ambitious startup challenges. I'll never forget telling my grandmother, one day I would love to start my own company. You know, she said that they'll never let a black man start his own company. That was a tough pill to swallow, but the spark stayed alive in me. My name is Cody Coleman. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Coactive AI. I grew up in New Jersey, but my mom was actually in prison when I was born, so I was put into foster care and then adopted by my maternal grandparents. We just grew up on their Social Security and welfare, and basically we're in poverty all of my life. My older brother Sean came back into my life when I was about 13 years old, and that's when my spark for computer science really got lit. You know, he helped me build my first computer, and that opened my eyes, and it showed me that, you know, with a computer and an internet connection, you could create something that would impact the lives of thousands, millions, and now billions of people around the world. I think there's two characteristics that have stayed with me throughout my entire life. I'm naively optimistic and endlessly positive. And those two characteristics have kind of taken me through thick and thin, through, you know, the dark times to where I am today. In 1996, Bill Gates said that content is king. He predicted that the real money on the internet was going to be made in content. Those predictions have come true, and the king is here. 80% of internet traffic is video data. So if it was a tidal wave before, you know, it's a tsunami now. All of this content is sitting underutilized in cloud storage, just basically for serving or archived in backups. You know, our goal is to make it easy to search, filter, and analyze visual content, and transforming visual content from something that was a tax on organizations into something that would effectively leverage their content to deliver information and entertainment. In starting a company and starting Coactive AI, you're taking a leap of faith. You're doing something crazy, something insane, and if you don't have the right people around the table, the right partners supporting you, it's impossible. The end of my PhD was a surreal moment. In the span of 3 months, we raised the seed round for Coactive. I turned 30, and I defended my PhD. It felt like reality had broken. There was this moment where I was kind of overtaken by all the emotion and this thing that I wanted to do for so long and dreamed about, you know, starting my own company. I broke down in tears and I ugly cried in this meeting, and it's a moment that I'll never forget. Growing a successful startup starts with building on a solid foundation, and that's what AWS gives us. I think the best analogy for big data is water. And you can kind of think of that in terms of the surface area for, you know, something like Lake Tahoe. You can get across that with a canoe or a rowboat. But now we're talking about something that's the surface area of the Pacific Ocean. You're going to need a bigger boat in order to be able to cross that and to be able to find treasure. AWS gives us all of the raw materials and all the building blocks that we need in order to create that bigger boat that enables us to actually process this ocean of unstructured data in an efficient and scalable way so that we can actually go and explore without, you know, breaking the bank. I would tell my younger self that hard work pays off and that there's an amazing world right around the corner in order to take that weight off of my shoulders and give me hope for what's to come. Partnering with AWS is the only way to build fast in a secure and scalable way to tackle the most ambitious startup challenges.
I just been dripping out. This whole nother level shot. I got these on their toes. I put them on the road. She tryna, oh, hold up. I got this me. She tryna show me something. Hold up. I got flows for days. Ain't on nothing. Me and my bro like they ain't know we on one. We in the spot going crazy until the sun up. You worried about that? That's who I chose up. Pistol solid in the kitchen, can't get the cold up. Nigga like they know it. Double O cactus, yeah, we told us. Switch out the baddie, get rolled up. Hold up, yeah. Everything hit, hold up. Everything. Astro.
All right. We have one half left to see who will punch their ticket to the state final. Group 4. Next week. Sunday. The 30th. One half to play. Mustangs will receive the opening kickoff, the third quarter, down 14-0.
So welcome back here as the kickoff is up, and it will be taken out by Matthews. Comes down to about the 21.
Now after the half, last half, let's see what changes throughout this offense and see what changes with both, play types for both teams. Now, as we know, Brick Memorial's offense taking over first in this half.
We are going to see what Brick does. They have to come out and probably put points on the board here, as that's over the middle and caught.
A good way to get your team riled up is just, a simple, just short pass enough for a first down. Let's see if they can keep answering with something like that throughout the game.
So Lahara back here in the shotgun. Ball is snapped, handed off to Whitaker. He picks up about 1 or 2. So Brick definitely wants to get on the board here. They showed that they can stop Winslow on defense. Now, the offense just has to put some points on the board here to stay in this game.
Yeah, you want to stay in a game against this Winslow team. And it looks like Brick is doing a pretty good job by having it in a 2nd and 6 situation. And not getting stopped too much here.
Ball is snapped. Quick pass over the middle. He finds Sean Fowler.
Nothing but green grass. And that's something you want to see from the Brick Memorial team. Looking a little bit more confident and a lot more alive. You know they had to have a talk in the locker room at half. seeing what's going on, seeing what's not working, and they're fixing it up here.
So the ball is snapped. Handoff to, that is Joe Livio on the carry. Sorry, that is Trey Talmadge on the carry. You know, he's a bigger guy. Gave him the ball up the middle, and he forced his way through that Winslow defensive line. So promising opening drive by the Brick Mustangs offense.
And we've seen this before last game. I don't want to celebrate too much yet if I was Mustangs. I want to complete the drive, okay? I want to complete the drive and try to get a touchdown. Don't get too cocky yet. You still have ways to go.
As a handoff to Nazir Whitaker. He picks up the first down, and Brick moving the chains here.
So just marching down the field we're seeing from the Mustangs, but you want to see him get a chance of scoring here. The defense giving up a little bit more than they usually do early on in the third quarter. Let's see what they have here.
As the ball is snapped, Lahara, another handoff to Whitaker. Whitaker finds his way up the middle, and now as you can see, kind of Brick is running the ball way more than they did the first half, trying to exploit that Winslow defensive front. And they're doing a pretty good job here, you know, just finding their space on the ground.
Now I know you're running the ball and all, but you have receivers that you can use, and those are a matchup I want to look at if I was Brick. You want to throw the ball, and that's what they might do.
Pressure on the edge. Pass thrown, and it is caught
for the touchdown.
For the touchdown. Brick gets into the end zone, and that is Nazir Matthews, their big target guy. Touchdown for Brick, and as you can see there on that catch, you know, he goes up, catches it over the defender, and then that last second extension to get into the end zone for Brick. And very momentous catch right there. You know, this game is very different now.
And that's what they needed. They needed that life. Now you could keep the foot on the gas pedal. All gas and no brakes is what I want this team to run. And just blocked. And he tried to turn something out of nothing. But what a play we've seen from Brick Memorial. What a drive, you know. Down, everyone thought it was just going to be, you know, just a beating we're going to see from Winslow, something you normally see. But Brick shows why they're in this position to going up against this Winslow team.
Yeah, that touchdown makes things very interesting. Now, very unfortunate for Brick that they didn't get that extra point. You know, that would have made it a one-score game. Now, being down by 8, you know, if they get in the end zone again, going to have to convert that 2-point conversion. But
now, if I'm Brick Memorial's coach, do you go for it in that chance, right? Because you're going to see some dangerous Winslow plays early on in the game. You still have a good amount of football to play. Off of what Winslow's been doing, it's been taking it down for about a 6-minute drive on average, it looked like, with this Winslow team, with running the ball pretty often. Let's see if they change it up here.
so we see the kickoff here. It will be caught and taken out by TJ Maddox. Maddox, good shoestring tackle there by the guy that just got in the end zone, Nazir Matthews.
And I just have to take that up for Matthews. Matthews, he didn't make that tackle just now. That would have been really costly because TJ had another like 20 yards without even getting touched, it looked like.
So Matthews doing it on both sides of the ball. You know, 13 receiving touchdowns on the season now.
But I keep coming back to this point. But we're about to witness history for the state of New Jersey with Jalen Parker breaking the school record, or state record, I'm sorry. He's already demolished the school record. He might have a chance to break the state here today.
And a run on first down. And it looks like tackle made by the Mustangs. That is Trey Talmadge on the tackle.
But now Winslow didn't get really anything on that play. You know, you saw more explosive runs from Brick Memorial. Do you switch it up here? Do you go in the air? You know, that worked early on for you in the game. The run has not. Do you switch it up here? You want to get back to having a 2-point lead.
Yeah, Brick's rush defense has, you know, proved to be pretty good here, as the last couple drives, nothing really happened on the ground for the Eagles, but that passing attack will work. Quade Hendricks making moves, shifting up to about the 30, to the 25. Quade Hendricks using his speed up the sideline, cutting into about the 25, and that is very good for Winslow.
And that's what you need, you know? You needed that play here. You saw Jalen Parker facing the blitz under pressure. It makes a pretty good throw right to Quade Hendricks, and Quade Hendricks takes it all the way, about 30-yard gain there by Quade.
Ball is snapped. Parker drops back, and he is brought down by another Mustang. That is number 70, Jackson Pacheco, on the tackle.
But what defense we are seeing. 2 back-to-back plays by this Winslow Brick Memorial defense, pressuring the quarterback. One was a sack, and one was not.
So a 2nd and 17 here for Winslow. You know, probably just trying to put the ball in the air. The rush has not been working today. And, you know, Winslow's athletes taking advantage of that. Ball is snapped. Parker over the middle. Ball comes out, almost intercepted, sorry. And 3rd and 17 here, so very dangerous there. You know, Moss looked like he had it, but big hit there, forces the ball into the air. Almost intercepted.
Risky throw there by this team. You know, very costly if that would have been an interception to give them back the ball when they're hot. Never smart, especially coming from a team like that.
So it'll be 3rd and 17 here for the Eagles. As the ball is snapped, Parker will find Powell on the right side. Powell makes some moves, but he picks up about 7, but that won't be enough for the first down. So 4th and 10 here, and you know, Winslow gonna go for it here, of course. 4th and 11.
And we see that pretty often, especially against teams like this. You always see Winslow go for it on 4th, especially in a stage like this. You're probably going to go for it more often than not.
Yeah, going to be very interesting if Brick gets this stop here. They're trying to hunker down. 3 receivers, actually 5 wide here for the Eagles. Ball snapped. Parker looking for options. He uses his legs, steps up, and that is batted down by Trey Talmadge. Incomplete. Turnover on downs.
So now it is a turnover on downs. The favor is now in Brick Memorial's hands. They have a chance to tie up this game. Right here, it's now Brick Memorial's ball. Let's see if their momentum continues. But listen, what I've realized about watching these games, when the momentum starts shifting in the other way, Winslow's defense is always right there to cut that down and give it right back. Against Millville, against Millville, the interception to give Winslow back that momentum was very costly by the defense.
Yeah, very true statement there. You know, most of the time Winslow's defense does just shut that right down, but we will see here. Obviously, very different team here in Brick, and look at that. That defensive line gets some pressure. Kamaj Matthews, the lead tackler there. So first down, Brick opts to rush with Whitaker.
So now they're about at their 28-yard line. Now, matchup I'm looking for here is on the bottom half of your screen.
So this is Lahara snapped to Whitaker, and it looks like he gets a little past the line of scrimmage.
Hey, but listen, you don't want to just keep running the ball. You want to try to score this play. It's not like you have the lead and you're trying to drain clock. You want to get this ball down the field. If you're Brick Memorial, that's what I would do personally.
So a 3rd and 6 here for Brick Memorial. And it looks like Winslow's defensive line jumps. Now, I think the main cause in that jumping is just the running back motion. You know, Nazir Whitaker making a little unorthodox movement there behind his quarterback, and that gets Winslow off center.
And that's just not something you want to see, right? The penalties have been the main story against this Winslow team all year, and how many penalties they take isn't good for what they need. They need to keep it disciplined. They need to have their team disciplined with these penalties. You see in the huddle here. We're going to see what they can do. We're going to see what the call is. So he picks up the flag now. So it is going to be a jump.
3rd and really short. You know, obviously here, I'm looking for a rush. You know, obviously,
I'm personally looking for maybe a QB action. What? No, let's get someone a little riled up here.
Maybe a QB sneaking. Not sure what's happening right now on the Brick side.
A little bit of frustration going on. Maybe they don't like what they're seeing. But as you can see here, Brick Memorial's section is coming out to play in such an important game. So now I would like to add, this is the last home game for some of the seniors here. This is their last home game in Winslow at the Nest. So this definitely has a little bit more of a feel if win or lose here.
So it'll be a 3rd and 1, looking for some sort of rush here. Maybe it's Whitaker, maybe it's Lahara.
Well, that's the problem. What is that? The Winslow's expecting them to run. They have the talent to get it down the field for maybe a screen, and it could be a very costly screen if they get it off. But it's most likely going to be a run here.
Some big 3rd and 1 here. They're going to put the back in motion. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. And it looks like Lahara moves the chains enough for a Brick first down.
And that's such a good thing to have a dual threat quarterback on when you don't know what to expect, and he just takes it right up to get the first down. So now you see Brick Memorial's offense getting hot. If you're just joining with us, it is now Brick Memorial's ball to see who goes on to play.
Ball is snapped to Talmage. Talmage, nothing going there. Kamaj Matthews causing problems in that backfield.
But if you're just joining in with us, it is Winslow versus the Brick Memorial Mustangs versus the Winslow Township Eagles here at the Nest. Now let's see what is here to come. Winslow up by 8 points late in the 3rd quarter with another quarter left to play in this football game. But the tide slowly have been shifting in Brick Memorial's favor.
Ball snapped. Lahara. He finds Whitaker. Whitaker still moving. Picks up the first. Nazir Whitaker moves the chains. Picks up the first down.
And the momentum is slowly shifting. This is something you don't want to see as a Winslow defense. You don't want to see this from the Winslow defense. You want to try to get some stops.
Let's see what Brick does here. You know, simple screen pass there, and it works, you know. Whitaker runs after the catch, yards after catch. Really matters. So Ball is snapped. They're just going to give it to Whitaker again. Whitaker, good carry there. Picks up about 4 or 5. So Nazir Whitaker cooking now.
So now, let's see what this team can do here. You know, they're looking to put about 6 points on the board here. Maybe like 6 or 7 points here you want to put on the board. Now this Winslow defense not going to try to let that happen.
So it'll be Lahara in the shotgun. Timeout called. Charge to Brick. So very interesting third quarter here. You know, Brick gets on the board. Winslow gets the ball. Goes 3 and out. Brick has it back here. Threatening to score. You know, they're moving the chains. Maybe something have to happen at halftime.
Now, RJ, what we're seeing from both teams here pretty late on in this game is a little bit more of a switch in the offense we've been seeing from Winslow in the playoffs so far. And it's working, but not as well as what it was in the regular season by beating those teams 40 to or 50 to like 7 or 14 points.
I think the main thing for Brick is, you know, they're really making Winslow's offense one-dimensional here, and that's actually a key to winning the game. Just forcing Winslow to, you know, not hit on all cylinders, to make them focus in on one aspect of the game. The rush is really not working today. It's been more pass-heavy, so their defense doing a good job making Winslow one-dimensional, which is very hard to do.
Yeah, especially against a Winslow team like this. One-dimensional is something Winslow doesn't even think about often.
So ball is snapped, handed off to Talmage. Talmage, big frame there. Uses his frame, first down, moving the chains, just little by little controlling that clock. Very important here for the Mustangs.
And I can't imagine that they don't go for it for the 2 points after if they score a touchdown here. I don't imagine, but what I'm going to be looking for is, yeah, they're running the ball. But I'm going to be looking at number 3 here for Brick Memorial, unless he gets motion. That's who I'm looking for on this play.
So the ball is snapped. Lahara, pressure, and he is brought down by Carter and Katie Gray.
So a sack, bringing a little bit more motivation and a little bit more energy to this Winslow defense. Now let's see if they can do something with this defense, or this motive now, the momentum.
So second down here, 5 wide for Brick. Ball is snapped. Lahara gets out wide, he slips, and it's another sack by Benjamin Carter.
And I have said this multiple times, you never want to get Winslow's defense started. And it looks like Winslow's gears are turning now. They are realizing what is at stake here. And this could be a very dangerous sighting where you're seeing on Winslow's defense getting heated up now. So now a timeout. The team visibly excited coming off the field after now turning the tides back to this Winslow momentum. So I think this 3rd and maybe 4th down conversion is going to be one of the most important drives of the game, right?
Yeah, this is very, you know, game defining here. You know, still obviously a lots of time to play. If Brick's, you know, defense can still be playing how they're playing, you know, they'll obviously get, you know, a couple more chances to stay in this game. But, you know, still a very crucial drive here.
And yeah, you're talking about having a lot of time left in this game, but we've been seeing from Winslow before on being really well with managing the clock. They have done it all year. and they've been really dangerous, especially aggressive on 4th downs. They don't get it here, right there. 3rd and 25. You go for it on 4th, maybe try to get like something going, maybe punt it away. If Winslow scores again, it's going to change the complexion of this game. It's going to change this complexion significantly. So it's 3rd and long here. They're going 5 wide.
3rd and forever here. 3rd and 25. Gonna try to make something shake here for Brick. Ball is snapped. Makes a move, finds Whitaker. Whitaker up the sideline, and he will pick up the 1st down on 3rd and 25.
And the momentum that quickly shifts back over to Brick Memorial.
Nazir Whitaker, just that little, out route, that little pitch route. Nobody's really expecting that on a 3rd and 25. He gets the ball, sees green grass in front of him, takes it up for the 1st down.
So simple, but so important that play was.
Ball snapped, Whitaker at it again. Picks up about 3 yards there on 1st down, but after Winslow, gets those 2 sacks, we think, oh, well, they're back. But no, Brick trying to make a statement here at the nest. 3rd and 25. Insane.
But now the favor shifts over back to this Winslow's defense story. Can they make a very crucial stop here? And it looks like it's going to be probably one more play before the end of the 3rd quarter, maybe no more plays. We might be heading into the 4th quarter right now, and it looks like that's the case. Looks like both teams are just going to respectively let the clock run down to 0 here.
So very, very interesting game here at the nest. Obviously last year, Millville versus Winslow, the semifinal was close. This year, Winslow versus Brick, very close game. This is what we love to see. We love a good football game around here. And we will see how this 4th quarter unfolds. Very entertaining football. Very entertaining 3 quarters here.
Hey, and this is what we've seen yet from Winslow last year when they played Millville in this spot in a very close game. Nearly the same exact score. The pressure's now getting on. Can it be a repeat in the playoff, in the state championships, when they play Phillipsburg again, like they did last year? This could be very well the outcome. But Winslow just needs to hang on here. But now the question is, can Jalen Parker get the touchdown record at the nest in his final home game of the season? Is that something we see tonight or today, or do we have to wait until the state championship to get that?
State championship's not even guaranteed at this point.
You're right, actually. Brick Memorial could do something shocking, and that's upset the Winslow Eagles here.
Ball is snapped. Thrown over the middle. It is caught. Touchdown, Sean Fowler. And the Brick Memorial Mustangs make this a 2-point game. First play of the 4th quarter, wide open for the touchdown.
What a play. This is now a football game. This is the closest game Winslow's had in the past few years. Into the 4th quarter, could be tied up very well on this play right here. Now let's see if Winslow can hang on to this lead. Let's see what it is. 12-14 if you're just tuning in. Going for the 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion here. Jason Lahara at quarterback leading the way. Ball is snapped. Lahara, nothing doing. He's going to use his legs. He's going to fire. and it is intercepted. So Winslow gets the ball back with a 2-point lead, but Brick Memorial is definitely fighting, putting up a fight here in Winslow.
What a drive we are watching. What a football game we are watching. I'm at the edge of my seat right now watching this game. They could have tied it, but now Winslow offense has to be aggressive. They have to be aggressive. There's no debate. They have to do this.
Yeah, this is where, you know, we test this team. You know, this team really hasn't been tested all year besides the, you know, IMG and Bergen losses, which are, you know, really acceptable. You know, top teams in the country. What are you going to do about that? But against teams, you know, their level or you know, below their level, they haven't really been tested in a close, down-to-the-wire game. So if they want to win the state championship, you know, state champions, you know, the road is, you know, it's not always straight. You know, there's going to be some bumps in the road. So they have to get over this hump if they want to, you know, claim that crown again.
Now it's kicked off. They take it out. Oh,
Hendricks bobbles the ball, picks it up. Quade Hendricks looking for a hole, finds one. Falls up to about the 30-yard line.
So I know I keep loving to say this, but if this is not the most important drive in this football game, I don't know what can be. Because if they get this, they go up by 9. If they get the extra point, they go up by 9. If they get a touchdown here, puts it by a 2-point game. I can imagine Brick Memorial has to go for an onside if they even get a chance to get that touchdown. So they would have to go for an onside if they want to win this game. This is an important drive right now.
Very important drive here for the Eagles. You know, rush hasn't been working well. We will see if they, you know, try to establish it today. So,
and maybe there's a possibility we watch one of the first overtime games yet in the season. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens.
Ball is snapped, handed to Powell. Powell. Pickup of about 3 there. Must-see TV here in Winslow.
So if there's a matchup I'm going to be looking for, that is for our senior wide receiver, Nakir Helton. If I had to count on anybody to make a play, it's him connecting with Jalen Parker connecting with Nakir for a touchdown. And this is the matchup I'm looking for here.
Ball is snapped, handed to Powell. Powell goes virtually nowhere, and it will be a quick 3rd down here for the Eagles. You know, they haven't really got Helton involved. Lots, you know, this second half, you know, hasn't really had a target. So you have to pass, you know, give the ball to your biggest playmakers in these positions.
Other than the first touchdown of the game, we really haven't seen him in that TJ Maddox touchdown. We need to see some connections between our passing game. Because now it's 3rd and 6 in a very important game. Can Winslow be upsetted here?
Brick Memorial sideline getting loud. Ball is snapped. Maddox gets the ball. He runs upfield, and he picks up the 1st down. TJ Maddox comes up clutch for the Eagles on 3rd and 6.
That is the sophomore receiver who put Winslow up by 14 earlier in the game. But now, we've seen 12 unanswered points by Brick Memorial. Can Winslow change it now? Now, I can't imagine that Brick Memorial is not going to be aggressive coming into their next drive. Layering up their defense pretty perfectly here.
Ball is snapped. Big tackle made by Trey Talmadge.
And just ate alive.
So rush, you know, again, the rush just not working today for Winslow. And this is very important, you know. I keep saying it, but just keeping Winslow one-dimensional today are the Brick Mustangs. Winslow will have it at their own 42. 2nd and 14. Karan Caesar now, his first snaps at running back today. Ball is snapped. Parker will look for Maddox. Maddox makes the catch, runs after the catch. Good way to slip past the defender there. So, you know, Parker really finding TJ Maddox today.
And TJ Maddox has been doing his part, and he has another 2 more years left on his team. He's the guy that they're going to be looking at to fill the shoes of Nakir next season.
So 3rd and 7 here for your Eagles. Ball is snapped, thrown to Helton, and he is grabbed just short of the line to gain.
So here we go.
So big 4th down here.
The run hasn't been doing much. This has to be a passing play in my mind. It's 4th and 2. Let's see what they do here.
And it looks
is a
like
jump.
the defense jumps, but no flag called, no penalty. Okay, so maybe not a jump.
That's a clear flag.
Maybe he was still in the neutral zone. Ball is snapped. Parker, quarterback keeper, and he won't get it. He won't get it. Brick Memorial makes a big stand on 4th and 1, and they will get the ball back with 8:52 left.
This is now possible. We might be watching an upset right in front of our eyes. I don't like using that word because Brick Memorial got here for a reason, but they have shut them down since the first quarter, respectively. Can Brick Memorial finish this game off? Or can Winslow's defense, who has been the savior of this team for the past few games, do it once again? Welcome to New Jersey football, the best game I can assure you can watch today.
So 1st and 10 here. Lahara and the Mustangs back onto the field. You got Whitaker. He's been cooking all game. To his right. Ball will be snapped. Hand it to Whitaker. Whitaker. Gain about 3 there.
This is getting more possible as the clock dwindles down. A field goal takes the lead. I doubt they would kick one, but this is where we're at right now.
Yeah, the Mustangs, you know, one of the defensive keys was just hunker down. You know, they started off pretty shaky, you know, giving up 14, but over the last 3 quarters, actually, you know, very good defense. Ball is snapped. Lahara will take it himself, trips over his own offensive lineman. So, quick dirt down here for the Mustangs.
A game we are watching. This is one of the best football games I have ever watched. Just a very close game. Winslow hasn't faced a threat like this other than IMG and Virgin Catholic. I bet they were going into this game thinking that this might be an easy game, and that's what you don't do this late into November.
Yeah, so 7:45 left on the clock, 3rd and 8. Definitely 2 down territory here for Brick. Ball is snapped. Handed off to Whitaker. They're going to keep feeding him. Nazir Whitaker takes it up.
Listen, this is what this is about. Stumbling over your words, this is just showing the pressure we're seeing in this game. This is just a pure raw reaction you're seeing right now, and that's the best type of football when you don't know who is going to win.
So big, crucial 4th and 1 here. They can go, you know, many options. Flag thrown. Don't know what's happening.
Important here.
Flag thrown on the play.
This is going to be really important.
And not sure who it's on. Okay, so no flag on the play. 4th and 1. They have many options. They can go to Lahara. They can go to Whitaker. Doing that obvious motion that, you know, gets people to jump offside. 4th and 1 here. Big play here at the Nest. Ball is snapped. Lahara will take it himself. Fall forward, and he will move the chains. Lahara gets the first down.
We are watching an amazing game right now. About 7 minutes left in this game. If you're just tuning in with Studio 106, it is Winslow Township High School versus Brick Memorial in a very important game here.
Whitaker in the backfield. Ball is snapped. Lahara will take it himself. He's going to actually throw, and incomplete there. Just couldn't hold on to it.
Now, that stops the clock. This is a very nerve-wracking game right now.
Yeah, Winslow 3 timeouts here. Not really worried much about the clock. But we will see, man. 2nd and 10.
But
Very interesting.
That's the problem, right? You're noticing you're not getting anything on offense. You need to stop them before they go up and before they take the lead. We haven't seen Winslow trailing ever since Bergen.
Ball is snapped. Lahara trying to find something downfield. And incomplete. Pass was intended for Sean Fowler, but there's a flag on the play. And from body language on the field, it looks like it's on Winslow.
If it's pass interference, that's just not good.
And it looks like...
What's the call on the field here?
The referee will bring the ball to about...
Looks like it's going to be holding. This is an intense game we are watching.
Very intense here in Winslow. 14-12, 6:48 on the clock here.
So 1st and 10, 14-12.
So obviously you have Whitaker in the backfield, and you have the receivers. You have Fowler, you have Matthews, you have Lahara even, which, you know, he can make plays on his legs. So we'll see what he do now. Hand it off to Whitaker. Whitaker bounces outside, gets a block, still up, and he picks up the first down.
The momentum is now in Brick Memorial's hand. They are at 100%. Winslow needs an important stop right now.
So Nazir Whitaker taking over this game. Lead rusher for Brick. Doing crazy things, bouncing off defenders, picking up first downs.
What a game.
They're going to give it to him again. Whitaker still running, cuts in to about the 9, maybe 10-yard line.
I think it's past
taking
that.
over this game.
I think it's on the 5. It's at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal.
And if I'm Brick, I'm giving it to Whitaker again.
I don't see why you wouldn't. He has been making 3 back-to-back-to-back amazing runs for this team.
Ball snapped. They don't hand it to Whitaker. Lahara makes a move, falls forward. The tackle pushes him up. Man, about second down. Not sure how much to go.
About, I would say, 3 yards left, but this is not an exciting watch if you're an Winslow Eagles fan here. If you're on the sidelines just watching as the clock is dwindling down.
So we will see. Whitaker to Lahara's right. Matthews one-on-one on the island. Lahara, big tackle made by the defense of Winslow.
And a stop that they needed comes up short. But again, they're in way more than field goal position here. They can kick a field goal.
Yeah. But, you know, high school football, you never, ever know what can happen. Nothing is concrete here. Brick's going to keep trying to get in the end zone. So they will have Whitaker out there. You know, one thing I would see right here is this 1v1 right here. Number 4 on number 4. Quran Ali versus Matthews. Ball is snapped. Lahara doesn't really have anybody. Lahara still running.
It's a sack!
And it is a sack. Benjamin Carter has done it all year, makes the play, and we will see what the Mustangs do on this play.
That's the momentum Winslow needed. A timeout now. I wouldn't celebrate too early if I was Winslow. Because, yes, you still have 4 minutes left. But your offense has been doing what they needed to as of recent. So you could see if Brick Memorial gets a touchdown here, let alone a field goal, they go up by 1 at least, which all you need is 1 point to win. We haven't seen Winslow. This has been all Brick Memorial since the first quarter, in my opinion. Benjamin Carter with 2 sacks on the game, with a second one coming the last play.
So interesting to see what Brick does. You know, might kick the field goal here, might go up 3, but as, you know, Alex said earlier, very wet day out here, so maybe the field goal misses, maybe it doesn't. We'll see here.
And that's what they're doing. They're going to kick the field goal.
Field goal here. 27-yarder. This is Jack Marotta.
To
27 to take the lead.
He has a chance to be a school legend at his school.
And not sure what happened before the
whistle before the kick. Maybe that's going to show. This is not.
Flag on the play. And it looks like it is on the defense. As we said pregame, penalties could cost this Eagles team. And a jump off sides.
What's the
makes
call
this
here?
Field goal way easier.
Way easier might be, but what do you look at here? What are you looking at? You're looking at a good Winslow defense. It's just you need to go down on these penalties. So the game's not over just yet. But here we go. You saw earlier on that blocked extra point, he didn't have any time to get the ball up in the air. And he missed the last field
Kick
goal.
is up. Snap is not good.
No!
But no good! No good! No good!
Winslow takes back over. It is now Winslow's ball.
And wow, just heartbreaking for Brick Memorial there. A chance to take the lead with 4 left against defending state champions and a missed field goal. As you can see here, snap was, you know, bobbled by the placeholder, and you know he puts it wide left. Winslow, the job's not finished. Winslow still obviously has to make some plays on offense. They have to make plays on offense.
And
you know, Brick has 2 timeouts.
And if they score, exactly, as you said, if they score, yeah, they have 3 timeouts, but Brick has 2.
Nakeem Powell back in the game. Ball is pitched to Powell. Powell makes a move. Powell still going. He picks up the first down.
Winslow's offense, the momentum getting started. We haven't seen much of Winslow's offense in the second half yet.
17 from the 30 at the 37. 17-yard pickup. 19. Victory.
So history is still on the line with tying the record. He's at 104 as of right now.
So a 1st and 10 here, 3:30 on this clock.
Now just letting the clock drain down a little bit. Smart by Winslow's offense. Motioning
Ball
a receiver.
is snapped. Same play, but to the other side. Blown up by the defense of Brick.
And obviously, Winslow has to be in 2-clock mode right now. They have to just try to chew this clock. But again, with the 2 timeouts that Brick Memorial has, they need to convert a first down, at least 2 more. That's at very least. But we are watching some very good football here.
Powell in the backfield. Helton all by himself. To the left. Hendricks in motion. They're going to do the same pitch play. And it is blown up yet again. So it's going to be 3rd down here. It's going to be an interesting 3rd down. If Winslow does not pick up anything on this 3rd down.
If they don't pick anything up on this 3rd down, I think they lose this game.
You think so?
I think they lose this game if they don't pick something up on this 3rd down here. You give back Brick Memorial a chance on 4th down in very good field position. You would have to kick it away. You would have to kick it away.
You'd have to punt it. You'd have to punt it here.
Because if you don't get it off, you put them in a very good field position with 2 timeouts left. Notice how Brick Memorial is not using any of their timeouts yet. They're letting Winslow make their own mistakes. And Winslow has been making their mistakes. So Winslow needs to play some smart football and be very comfortable and very careful on what they do here.
You got to really expand the playbook for one of these plays. You know, getting up to 4th and 1 is, you know, good. Obviously you want to get the first down here. So it will be, you know, as I just said, opening the playbook. Just gotta do something interesting.
Yes, but you have Nakir Helton. You have TJ Maddox, who's having a game. You have Quade Hendricks. Use these receivers. You have 2 backs behind Jalen Parker here.
Moss makes the motion. Ball is thrown to Jayon Moss. Jayon Moss. He's gonna fall forward and be short of the first down. So interesting to see what Winslow does here. Yet again, another stop by Brick Memorial's defense, hunkering down, keeping Winslow scoreless until 2 minutes and 5 seconds in the 4th quarter. No team has done that in at least a year.
Not even IMG or Bergen Catholic. If I have to add, no one has done that. To have Winslow back into a corner this much is insane.
4th and about 6 here. This
you would have to punt it if I was Winslow.
Very important. I feel like if I'm Bill Belton, I gotta trust my defense. Even though we haven't been playing the best, you know, this is still a great defense. A sack, couple of sacks makes a difference, you know. But
here we go.
4th and 5 on our own 40-yard line.
If there was ever a game you would have to watch.
Looks like Belton will elect to punt this ball. Gotta believe in the defense here if you're the coach.
This is the right move. You still have all 3 of your timeouts and you give them perfect field position.
4th down here, and you can hear a pin drop in this stadium. Ball is going to be punted by Hendricks. And it looks like it's going to be a fair catch at the 25. So Winslow's season comes down to this.
A 2-minute drill by Brick Memorial to chance the game right here. If Winslow gets this stop, they win the game. If Brick Memorial scores a touchdown, they win the game. So it is now one last play, one last drive, offense versus defense. Let's see who has it.
You know, this is for all the marble winners. Winner goes to Rutgers. Winner goes to the state championship. This is what these guys have prepared for since, you know, school ended. You know, football teams started practicing like a couple weeks after school ends. So they've been, you know, going for this goal all year. And it looks like it's going to be a jump. And it's going to be
comfortable on offense. You know, Brick Memorial looks a little disappointed.
And it will be a false start by the Brick offense. So Winslow getting yet another break here. Another break.
So backing them up a bit now, and that's something you don't want to take as Brick Memorial.
And sometimes in football, all you need is luck. You know, that missed field goal You know, I think that was going to go in. You know, from 27, they get the penalty. You know, it's called off. They come forward and they miss it. You know, all you need in football is a little bit of luck. So here, they feed the hot hand to Matthews, and he's taken down.
So now, took him down, didn't let anything get started there. The clock is running.
Clock's running here.
This is New Jersey football at its finest.
2nd and 17 for Lahara. Timeout Winslow. This is honestly just an amazing game here. You know, so much has happened in this second half. Only one touchdown, but you know, that's not all. That's not the whole story.
The story of this game has been the change in playbooks. This has just been a one-dimensional game from Winslow, and Brick Memorial has exploited that in every aspect of the game. So what a game we are watching. This is a very interesting game. I don't know, but this is my raw reaction to this game. This is such an intense game.
So it will be 2nd and 17 here for Brick Memorial. Lahara, the quarterback, and Matthews in the backfield. Whitaker, sorry, in the backfield. 3 receivers set on the right. Ball is snapped. And it looks like it's a sack. Winslow's defense prevails. Rob Karstorfen with the sack.
All the way back to 12.
Five wide here. 3rd and long. Lahara.
For the game.
Nowhere. He heaves it deep. Intercepted by Winslow. Julian Peterson.
One-handed.
Ices the game for the Eagles. They will presumably go to the state championship for the second year in a row.
One-handed interception. Can we get a replay on that?
Oh my goodness.
What a game we are watching.
Julian Peterson with the interception. And this is straight cinema. Absolute cinema here at the Nest. Wow.
What a game.
We have a sideline penalty against the Eagles.
And, you know, Winslow gets the sideline penalty. Obviously, I mean, who
worth
wouldn't
it.
get a sideline penalty there?
It's worth it. It's worth it in every aspect of the game.
Brick. One timeout left. And,
Let's look at
this.
this.
This is the interception here. Talmadge heaves it up. It's overthrown, and a one-handed interception by Winslow's very own Julian Peterson. Victory formation here for Winslow. In a couple more seconds, they will head to the state championship to Rutgers for the second year in a row.
A game. Had it down in a one-handed, not a bad ball from the quarterback.
Yeah, from Lahara, not a bad ball at all. He played his butt off today. And great, you know, Brick Memorial gave Winslow its best game in about 2 years. You know, this is what we watch football for. This is what we come out and do this every day for, man. This is great.
Do not hang your head low at all if I was Brick Memorial. That was one of the best football games I've ever watched, let alone high school or NFL or college.
Let's go! Touchdown tickets next Sunday. To repeat.
So Winslow will be going back to the state championship yet again. Oh, sorry.
But what a game we just watched. from two of New Jersey's best.
So Winslow will play Ramapo in the state championship. 2 straight championships for your Eagles. You know, this is a legacy, this is a dynasty in the making. You have to win these tight games, and for the 2nd year in a row, they win in the semifinal.
What a game we are watching, or watched. The victory song in the background.
So Winslow Township High School will be going to their 2nd straight state championship.
And what a game we watched, but an amazing game we watched. But I just want to take time. This is your last football game. I want to congratulate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This is his last football game he's commentating, and he's been doing an amazing job to help me out a lot. And he did an amazing job, and this was an amazing game, and an amazing game to be your last to commentate.
Amazing game to end the career. So congratulations to Winslow, and the state championship. Hopefully bring it home next week.
I want him to close it off for us, but an amazing game we just witnessed from both sides of the ball.
Get him up, get him up. Yeah, let's go. Here we come, North Jersey.
Swerving in my low, head on the swivel, serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger.
We ain't done yet, y'all. We ain't done yet. One more. Back to back. Let's give it up for our Eagles.
We come together holding hands and holler hood light. We all strapping all black, it's like Bud Light. You riding the what? 'Cause we riding.